This is BBC News, our breaking news this hour. Iraqi state television says the commander of the Iranian Quds Special Forces, Qasem Soleimani, has been killed in an airstrike in Baghdad. There's no independent confirmation of that so far. Well, let's stay with this breaking news. And Mike Pregent is a senior fellow with the Hudson Institute. He was an advisor to General David Petraeus. Mike, thanks a lot for joining us. Can I just get your initial reaction to this breaking news?
Well, if you're going to hit Iran in Iraq, this is what the Iraqis have been asking us to do. You hit Qasem Soleimani, a designated terrorist, the leader of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Quds Force. The Quds Force means Jerusalem. And then Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes, his deputy, his strongman in Iraq, the leader of Kataib Hezbollah, a man who has killed Iraqi protesters, American soldiers, Kuwaitis, Lebanese, Shia, Syria. He's been all over the region killing people, and he recently had his militia kill an American at the K-1 base. That's the reason for all of these protests outside of the Iraqi embassy. That was his militia that was protesting outside. So if you wanted to give Baghdad a chance, you had to take these two individuals out, and it looks like that's what happened tonight. Both Qais Khazali and his go-to guy, a designated terrorist, Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes, appear to have been killed in a drone strike in Baghdad. And for Iraqis, if you watch the videos of protesters in Tahrir Square, they're celebrating this. This actually gives Iraq a chance to push back against Iran, because the two people they feared most were Qasem Soleimani and Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes. They didn't fear Hadi al-Amri or Qais Khazali or Fayyal Fayyad. They feared Qasem Soleimani and Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes, and they're gone now.
Mike, a few days ago, President Donald Trump was asked about the potential of war with Iran. He said that isn't what the US was looking for, obviously. Isn't that what he's risking, though, by this strike?
I would argue that this is what war with Iran looks like, and we've been at it for 40 years. We've seen an escalation by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz, in Yemen, in Syria, with numerous rocket attacks against our embassy compound, our consulate in Basra, our bases in Iraq, and we haven't done anything. Then we gave them a red line. You kill an American, we're going to take action. They tested that red line, they killed an American, and we responded. There were three target packages at least that were presented to the president to action the night that we attacked Kataib Hezbollah along the Iraqi-Syrian border. One of those other packages was to take out Qasem Soleimani and Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes. Now, they conducted an attack today again against an American base after storming the U.S. Embassy and the Iraqi government just allowing it to happen. This message was communicated to Tehran. Stop. They didn't. And it's actually something that the Iranians understand. In the 40 years that this regime has been in power, they only understand force. Ronald Reagan destroyed a significant part of the IRGC Quds Force Navy back when he was president. The Israelis have done this time and time again in Lebanon and Syria. And this is the first time the United States has targeted an Iranian terrorist general. And his name is Qasem Soleimani. He's no different than a Baghdadi when it comes to what he's done in Iraq and Syria. He's a designated terrorist. We have no problem killing Al-Qaeda or ISIS, and we should not have had a problem targeting a designated terrorist that has killed Americans.
Mike, it's only been a sort of few hours since this news came out. What's the reaction been from what you've seen in the US?
Well, in the U.S., everyone's cautious. Trump's starting a war. This is going to lead to violence. We've already seen violence. We've already seen Americans dying. We've already seen Iran's activities. This is what Iran looks like. It has a rocket and missile arsenal that it can use. That's what it does. And then it conducts assassination campaigns. It conducts terrorist activities. It's been doing that for 40 years. The president, I believe, did the right thing. I've actually, to be honest with you, I've been recommending this for the last 4 years as a former intelligence officer. The one thing about the most important voices coming out of all of this are the Iraqi voices. The Iraqis communicated something to us the other day when we hit Kataib Hezbollah. A lot of our young, poor men join Kitab Hezbollah because they're forced to do it by Qasem Soleimani and Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes. If you want to hurt Iran, kill them instead. And that's what happened. And the protesters in Tahrir Square are cheering because it was also Qasem Soleimani that directed his militias when he pushed aside the prime minister in a National Security Council meeting and said it's okay for you to kill the protesters as long as you refer to them as the corrupt, the spoilers. It's an Islamic term, an Islamic term used to allow a militiaman to kill an unarmed civilian because Qasem Soleimani has told him he's a spoiler, he's a corrupter. So listen to the Iraqis. They're going to be pretty happy about this. And there's reports now, we haven't confirmed them, but some of those lesser militia leaders, the ones that have always drawn their strength from Mohandes and Qasem Soleimani, are hiding, are fleeing. And normally they flee to Iran. And there's also been other rumors, we haven't confirmed any of these yet, that several have already been detained. You have an Iraqi security force that now feels unconstrained. The Iraqis that we've been working with inside of the Iraqi army have always told us, I can only do so much or these two gentlemen will come after us. Those two gentlemen are gone now. I shouldn't call them gentlemen, they're designated terrorists. This will give Iraq a chance. The Iraqi military can actually start to push back against Iran's negative influence. They're not a normal neighbor. They decide who their president is. They have primacy over their security forces, and they have penetrated every sector of their economy. That may have ended tonight. I do expect violence, but the guys that could do it the best are no longer alive.
Mike Pregent, really interesting take on that, live from there in Arlington in the US. Thanks so much indeed for joining us. It's huge news, obviously, still a lot to be confirmed, but thanks a lot for getting your initial thoughts there. That was Mike Pregent from Arlington in the US.